Hello everyone, my name is Debbie Jones-Snyders and I'm from the Hopedale Presbyterian Church. I'm delighted to welcome children and families to our church school lessons and crafts. Our story today is Jesus Heals 10 Lepers, which is adapted from Mission Bible Class with images by Sweet Publishing and access through free Bible images. We have 2 coloring pictures and we have 2 crafts. One is an unclean and clean healed 2-sided wall hanging, and the other is a 10 leper paper craft, sort of like origami. We have a variety of other activities as well for you. So our story. Once Jesus did something very nice for 10 men, and we'll see if any of them said thank you. Have you ever had a sore or a rash on your skin? You might have put cream or powder on it to make it go away. Sometimes the rash or the sore might just go away by the next day. In the times of Jesus' ministry, people sometimes got sores or a rash that would not go away. No matter what kind of medicine the person used, they did not get better. Fingers and toes might fall off. The sores would get so bad that the person could even die. This was called leprosy. People with leprosy could not get close to anyone, not anyone else, in case others got the leprosy too. People with leprosy at that time could not hug anyone or eat with anyone. They had to live away from the city. They could only be with other people who had leprosy. Once there were 10 men who had leprosy. They did not live in a city. They had to stay away from everyone. They must have been very sad. The 10 lepers had heard about Jesus. They heard that Jesus could make people well. The problem was that the men could not just walk up to Jesus because they did not want Jesus to get leprosy too. Instead, they waited on the road for Jesus to walk by. And when they saw Jesus coming towards them, they called out to him before he got too close. The 10 lepers said, "Jesus, Master, have pity on us." Jesus must have been very sad to see these men. They would have had sores, and some of them might have even had leprosy so long that their toes or fingers might have rotted off. The lepers probably even stunk. Some people might have just wanted to run away from the men, but Jesus did not run away from them. He made them better instead. Jesus made all the leprosy disappear. The men were so happy they could hardly believe it when they looked at their healthy skin. Now they could go and be with their friends. Now they could go and give their families a great big hug. Jesus told the men to go to the priest and show him that the leprosy was gone. The priest would have a special ceremony and the men would get permission to go back to the city where the other people lived. The 10 lepers were so happy that they rushed off to find the priest. Most of these 10 lepers were Jewish men like Jesus, and the apostles were like Jesus and the apostles were. But one of the lepers was a Samaritan Jew. Jews and Samaritan Jews did not like each other very much. The Jews thought the Samaritans were not very good Jews. They thought they were better than the Samaritans. But as the 10 men rushed away, one man, a Samaritan, stopped and began walking back to Jesus. He wanted to say thank you for what Jesus had done. The Samaritan was so thankful that Jesus had healed him that he praised God and he threw himself down by Jesus' feet and kept saying, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Others thought that Samaritan Jews were not good, but Jesus knew that this man had a good heart, full of faith. After all, the other 9 healed lepers just went on their way. Jesus told the man to go on ahead to the priest. He said to the man, "Go, your faith has made you well." The man went on his way and was very, very happy and very thankful. We have a number of activities for you, depending on your age level, interest, and ability. You will need to print the templates and the activities. There are 2 coloring pictures. And there are 2 crafts. The first craft is the unclean, clean and healed 2-sided wall hanging. See, one side says unclean, which is what they called lepers at that time. And the other side is healed and says, "Thank you, Jesus." So you will need the template, and you need to print 2 pieces, 2 copies. You will need markers, things to color with, scissors, glue, and yarn. So once you print the 2 copies of the template, you can decorate. One is unclean. He's sad and he's crying, and he has sores all over his body, and I've written unclean. The other is healed, and he's happy, and he has Band-Aids on him, and I've written, "Thank you, Jesus." So once you decorate your 2 people, cut them out and glue them together. I haven't glued them, just to show you how I did it, but you glue them together. And I forgot to tell you, you need a hole puncher, and then punch a hole in the top of the 2 people, and then tie a cut piece of yarn through and hang up your 2-sided wall hanging to remind you that you can be healed with Jesus. It reminds you of the story of how Jesus healed the 10 lepers. The second activity, the second craft, is 10 lepers. So you can see there are 10 lepers here, and on the inside they are healed, and they have happy faces on them. And I can stand these guys up. You could have them stand up as being unclean, or being sad because they are have leprosy, or you can turn them around and stand them up as being clean and healed. So what you will need for this activity is paper. You can use regular paper if you like, or construction paper. You will also need something to make the faces with, and scissors. So what you'll do is get a piece of paper, I'm just showing it here, and you fold it in half, and fold it in half again, and then you are going to fold it back and forth fairly evenly so that you have 5 folds. You make sure that they're even, and draw then a picture of the face, or the body, the head, the arms, and the legs, and then you'll need to cut it out. So if you look at this, draw the head, and you want to make sure you don't cut through the fold. So you're going to draw the head and then draw an angle out to make the arms, draw it back in, draw out for the legs. You're going to cut a space here at the bottom so the legs can open up. Because if you cut too much, you will cut through and the paper won't stay together. So draw it before you cut it out. And remember that the legs and the arms and the heads need to stay together. So there you go. So you can then show everyone how the 10 lepers were healed. And 1 out of the 10 said, "Thank you, Jesus." Yes, I did just put that there. He's got a really big happy face. So other activities that we have for you include a maze, crossword, another crossword, a word search and maze combined, an anagram where you figure out what the word is from letters that are mixed up, and a coded word activity. This week, remember that faith can make you well. Jesus heals. Remember to say, "Thank you, Jesus."